How are you? Hope you're good. So, okay, today I'm gonna do something that was very highly requested. I'm not saying this to appear humble or anything like that. I'm saying this very genuinely. I am not an expert on any of this, like any of this. I just don't want people to think that, oh, I think I'm successful, so now I'm giving advice. No, please don't. But I get a lot of messages from you lovely bunch asking about all the technical stuff about YouTube, saying that you guys want to start and you would just like and appreciate some of my tips or just my experiences on how I did it and how I'm doing it and how I time manage and blah 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 blah, you know. So I thought it would be handy just to make a few videos so I can always just refer people to these. I don't want to call it a how-to because then people will be under the impression that I know shit. We don't want that, do we? I've been writing the ideas of what segments to do for a while now, and today is all about starting a channel. So I just wanted to get this general advice out of the way so I can go into itty-gritty things, and I will, but just not today. This is literally just what worked for me and how I do things, and you know, you get the gist. I hear you want to start a channel. That's really cool. It's scary, but it's intimidated to upload something on the interwebs because anyone can see it, and you know, your lost high school's friend can see it, your family can see it, and sometimes you try maybe not to tell people, but they can still see it. So I think my number one advice is remember you can always delete it, not set in stone. So advice number two is even though you can delete it, as I said, people can still see it beforehand. So that's something to keep in mind, especially if you're gonna make videos about something that you haven't shared with anyone, because I've recently uploaded my mental health video, which is quite a scary topic to do, and it's very personal. It's as personal as it gets, you know, but you have to count into the equation that people don't necessarily have to be told about your video to find out about the video, so just keep that in mind as well. Number three is choosing the name. If you're not in any rush, decide on the name and then wait for maybe 2 weeks and see if you still like it. Because you know what, I actually do regret my name, but it's a whole different story about it. I chose it because the domain was available for my blog. The blog didn't really happen, and anyway, because bookroast, what the hell does that even mean? I thought at first I'm gonna maybe cook to make it up to it. Maybe I still do it because hell makes no sense. When it comes to search engines, it's always good to have a word representing your channel's theme. That's not to say that your channel has to have a theme. It's probably a bit easier to find your audience if the audience has something in common. So for my channel, it's books, and I have book in the name, which helps with the search engines, but it's not that massive of a sacrifice if you don't have that in your name. And it's always worth keeping in mind that if you don't have that in the name, then you don't have the commitment to stay with that theme. And now I want to say something that's really important to me, that even if you have the name book in your name, that does not mean that you can only make videos about books, because that's ridiculous. It's your channel, you can do what you want. And also, newsflash, people who are into books are not only into books. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one should really stop you from making any other sort of video. Number four is what to film. So now you've decided on it, you open the channel, and now you need to film a first video. What to film? A lot of the time, after, if you stick with YouTube, people will delete or hide their first video, but some people will have it, and there's a lot of curious people who are gonna subscribe to you and they want to see how long you've been doing this or how you looked when you started, so they're gonna go and sort it by the oldest video and check your first video. So no pressure, you know. Most people are gonna be nervous and a bit awkward around the camera because everyone understands it's your first video, so do not put pressure on yourself when the pressure is not needed. Also, I think it really helps to know that you are absolutely in control, so whatever awkwardness you do in front of the camera, you can always edit it out. And if it helps, you can imagine the camera naked, because if you don't know exactly what to do to introduce yourself to the community, it's really easy to just do a tag. For BookTube specifically, the BookTube newbie tag is always a brilliant idea, because this is how people will find you, even if they haven't stumbled across to your channel through the recommended section. Just because sometimes people will, and I know I do, I put the BookTube newbie tag in the search bar and then sort it by date and see who joined, you know, because it's nice and it's the easiest way to find new members. I guarantee you will get a lot of comments on that video because people are gonna be like, oh, welcome, you know, so it's nice. If it's not a booktube channel, then you can also do another tag that introduces you, just maybe get to know me tag or something like that. It gives the pressure off you to come up with the questions, and it also introduces you and your personality and something a little bit more personal about you to the people that are gonna watch you, so you know. And if not, you can always go ahead and be original, not like me the sheep. Number 5 is getting people to notice you. Now obviously you worked hard, you were all awkward, and you went through this like traumatizing experience of filming for the first time, and also hearing your voice when editing for the first time. Holy crap! If you're foreign and English is a second language, holy crap, what is that accent? Sort of thing. But you'll get over it and it's gonna be fine. So obviously you worked hard, you wanted people to see it, because what, you know, even if you're not gonna do anything, someone will see it. But if you want to sort of give it a little nudge, you know, to the right direction, the best advice is to be active in the community. And this is very subjective of my own opinions, but please don't leave comments like, hi, great video, check out my channel, and then leave a link. First of all, that will most likely go into the spam section in the YouTube comments, because YouTube sorts that. Not only will it not actually post under the comments, and it will go into sort of like a junk section of the comments until someone approves it, or it will go through and people will be put off by the comment, because it's very, very clear when people are trying to use you as the means to the end. Some might assume that you haven't actually seen the video, you just want them to check your channel. All honestly, probably the case in most of those video comments, but you know. You will find that if you comment enough and if you're active on the community, people will click on you and people will realize that you have a channel. How dare someone need an ambulance when I'm filming? But if you have this incredible urge of actually saying, hey look, I also have a channel, you can go and find the video maybe that they've done on the book review that you've also done or something like that, and you can actually watch the video and say, this is a very good point, I was arguing exactly the same, or a different point was brought up in my video about this book, and then also add something else. People are gonna check you out without you asking for it, which is always nicer, because, you know, what's the point of people coming over if they've only done that because you asked? I don't know. It's just my opinion. Maybe somebody is completely fine with those comments. Number 6 is location. I feel like as long as it's not too clustered where you're sitting, if you're not sitting like in the background is the dirty kitchen that haven't been cleaned for, you know, 2 weeks, and there's like dishes and you can see like mold somewhere. This is obviously an exaggeration, but try and keep it not too clustered so it's not drawing attention from you, those clusters, and you know, you want people to pay attention, because if they don't, they're gonna click away. Also, try to avoid clickbaits, because people are just gonna get pissed off and it's not worth it. And try and make your thumbnails attractive in the way that it's clear what the video is about. It doesn't have to be your face or anything, but it should probably have something written on it of the theme, because most of the time people will look at the picture and then read the title. It's not gonna be the other way around. So you want the theme or the video title to be on the thumbnail. And there's loads of free websites that you can do very decent job at creating these. Always Google the dimensions of the YouTube thumbnail, because it is when I uploaded my first thumbnail, it got all stretched out and it was weird. Set it as the dimensions say on the picture that you're editing, and you can use something like PicMonkey very easily, and it's free, and you can make a thumbnail. Next little tip is film with natural light if you can. If you can only film in the evenings, that's also fine, but if you can, film with natural light, because it's always going to be better than the artificial light, and artificial lights are also expensive, which you don't want to spend a lot of money in something that you've just started and you don't know. Like, you might feel very passionate about it, but I've started so many projects and then just like got so excited and invested so much money in it, and then after 2 months I was like, do I want to do this anymore? I don't know. But then like I felt like I should, because I spent all that money, and then it just started pushing myself to do it, and it just lost any pleasure that it used to give me. Not like, obviously I still get my lighting weird, because sometimes it's like overexposed and I can't fix it without it looking weird, but as you know, whatever. I told you I'm not an expert, but natural light is really, really helping me. Actually, according to some research, video quality is not even the most important thing when it comes to videos. Audio quality is. So even if you're at the point where you would want to, you know, invest in making the quality of your videos a bit better, consider investing in a microphone rather than a new camera. First, it's cheaper and then gives you more time to basically check if you really want to do this and if you really want to invest in it. And second of all, it really improves your video quality. I will speak about the microphones and the type of microphones later on, not today. But yeah, it will be discussed. Depending if you have normal windows. If you do, then like I'm jealous because my windows are shit. So you can hear everything that is going on and it's very central, and I sadly don't have a choice to film in another side because we only have windows on one side of the flat. But if you can, try to minimize the noise. I say that when my last video had a washing machine, and well, that taught me a lesson, you know. So turn off the washing machine when you film, because I couldn't even hear it here, but the microphone really picked up on it and it's so loud in the video. But you know what, yeah, live and learn. So I'm telling you, so you wouldn't make the same mistakes I did. Again, this is just my opinion, but try and be very careful when it comes to doing similar videos to others. This is YouTube. Everyone gets inspired by each other, so all the time is gonna be bits and pieces that are borrowed from other videos and other creators, but be very respect. You always should put your own twist on it, but if you're doing something very similar, just simply give credit when credit is due. I guarantee you no one is gonna be mad at you if you do something very similar, but you mentioned their channel and mentioned that the idea came from them and they inspired you. Also, if you can, as the creator, always give credit when credit is due. You don't all want to be seen as a copycat, because who's winning in that scenario? No one, really. I also have to like give you some cheese and say be yourself, but truly be yourself. Next tip is to always answer comments if you can. If you have like an enormous following, obviously you might not be able to answer comments, and most importantly, try and sometimes answer comments that prompt a response, so either an open-ended question or just ask a question of the people. Don't just always say thank you. Sometimes obviously there's gonna be just a thank you because there's nothing else really to say, but if they're trying to have a discussion with you, don't just answer in a way that stops the discussion, prompt the discussion. Not only that, but try and reach out to people. If you like, a lot of my subscribers, I have a feeling that they came from Instagram, and Instagram is really easy to DM people and actually, you know, bond with them and get to know them better. Do that. It's not only is it good practice in general and good practice for your channel, it's fun and you might find friends, and this is what it's for. You know, most of the time when people start a channel, they see it because they want to find more like-minded people, and you know, this is gonna help you because then like you need to speak to them. Now at the very beginning, when someone subscribes to your channel, your knee-jerk reaction is to subscribe back. And this might come as a little bit controversial, but I feel like you should only subscribe if you truly, genuinely want to watch them. But there's no reason to subscribe. This is a hard one, but I feel like there's no reason for you to actually subscribe to their channel if you don't genuinely want to watch them, because they're just gonna pop up in your feed and you're never gonna really watch them, and sometimes you'll watch them just for the duty of it. And again, this is a hobby and shouldn't be a duty, so you shouldn't see subscribing back as your responsibility. It's not. If people chose to subscribe to you, that's great. That means they're enjoying your content, but that doesn't mean that you must enjoy theirs. And sometimes, like, some people you're just not gonna enjoy that much, and that doesn't mean that someone else is not gonna. But this just brings me to my next point, which is losing subscribers. Sometimes people, obviously it's never nice to see the numbers go down, but I try to remind myself that I don't want people to stay a subscriber or on my channel if they don't enjoy it, because if they stay, what is gonna happen? They might thumb down the video because they don't enjoy it, and they might comment things that possibly gonna be hurtful for you as well, because it's probably gonna be nothing good, and you don't want to force people to love you, because you can. So if someone is unsubscribing, don't see it as a bad thing. Sure, the numbers go down, but the numbers are just that, the numbers, and I'm not gonna say, like, obviously I want subscribers. Sometimes in general it will be better to just give a bit less fucks because it can get really overwhelming, but more about that later. My next tip is to always be that tiny bit nicer than you intend to. Sometimes there might be a comment, maybe hurts you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's intentional. Comments are obviously, like, you cannot see the person, you don't know if it's the first language or a third language. Just always try and see the best in people and don't take it too personally, and just always be nicer than you first intend to. My next one is my most important one, and it's to always remember that this is a hobby and it should stay a hobby, and starting YouTube should never ever be a job that makes you see the hobby which in my case is reading, as more of a chore than a pleasure, because that's what you're risking. When you start a booktube, sometimes there's so much pressure to read the books, and especially if you agree to review the books for people to send you the books, and then there's deadlines. Where are deadlines? There are stressors and just anxiety, and you need to be careful, basically. Don't let it to overtake you as a person. Can't stress enough, but it's a hobby. If you are busy, if you are a full-time student, or you have a full-time job, or if you have kids and you just have like your basket is pretty much full, and then on top of that you decided to make a YouTube channel, you know, it might be a good idea to, even if you're not a planner in general, it might be a good idea to start a schedule. I will make a separate video about it, so I'm not gonna talk too much now. I feel like I've been speaking a lot here, and I probably will forget something, you know, but my last advice for this time is to make videos that you would genuinely be interested in watching. This is another of my at least top 3 advices from this whole video, because then A, you will enjoy it more, B, chances are people are gonna be enjoying it more because you are enjoying it more, and 3, if you create something you would like to watch, you will love your channel and you will not want to quit, and you know, and also you will attract like-minded people because they would be interested in the same things you are interested, and this is how you find friends. I hope this was even a tiny bit helpful. I know some of these might seem really self-explanatory and really like, why are you telling me this is obvious? But I know it's not always obvious for everyone, and maybe, you know, sometimes you just don't think about some things, and I hope that at least one of those tips are gonna be helpful for you. And I actually am really looking forward to making more about this, more about my technical stuff, because technical stuff is what people mostly ask for. There's gonna be definitely videos about things that I didn't know, so I had to go on and search for these things, and through various sources, so I'll try and put this in one video so it's gonna be easier for someone if they're gonna watch it. So obviously this is for you guys, and I hope it was at least somewhat helpful. Please let me know down in the comments below what you would like me to speak about in the future. I have a bunch of topics already ready. I haven't prepped for them properly yet, most of them, but I have them as an idea. So I want this to be as useful as it can, so please let me know what you want to see specifically. Thank you so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you want to, subscribe if you feel like it, and I upload on every Sunday and Wednesday, but sometimes in between, just to mix it up. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.